Or they drag him.
Meanwhile, the kid is tearing apart everything they can get their hands on. So for you who have children and don't know it, okay, notice in a farmer's field, the farmer allows walkers to cross the field for free, but the bull charges.
Got to get their attention a little bit.
Okay, a little bit of levity there. All right. Okay.
Start our program with a light tone there.
We have our friend Toni Reifsteck with us. Toni is probably... Do you waste any time sleeping, or...
No, that's not a waste. That's rejuvenation.
Oh, dear. I don't know how you have time to even sleep. No. Well, the thing
Wally gets meals 3 times a day, so she must do something right.
Wally's a good cook, too.
Oh,
is he? Is he?
Good for him.
Oh, yes.
Good for him. Today she's with us in her capacity as a member of St. John's United Church of Christ, where she has organized the young people into quite a force, and they have sent out 1,170, if you can believe that, invitations to the dance that they have at St. John's. It's the Veterans Dance. And this is the 11th annual, as I understand it. I don't think I was aware of the fact that it had been going on for that long, but I've seen the pictures from it, and it looks like a good time is had by all.
It is a good time, Judy, and Bill, thank you for letting me come.
We're proud to have you here.
Well, and I'm proud to be a part, but I am not the one that organizes these kids anymore. Jonathan and Tammy Pagel do that. They are the youth sponsors now. They let me be an honorary helper. So.
An honorary helper.
An honorary helper.
They let you be.
They let me be.
I bet they were proud to let you be.
You stay young if you work with kids. But this is an undertaking that really was not started by any adult. It was started by 2 young ladies 11 years ago when they were freshmen and sophomore in high school, who are now out into the business world in their own job. But
you know, I find that terribly interesting. How did a freshman and sophomore in high school ever get this germ of an idea?
Well, it started with Heather Goach down in Williamsville, and that school was doing a dance for the senior citizens of that community. And she was part of a dance band down there, or high school jazz band.
They have a good music department down there.
They do have. And so she organized it. Michelle Johnson from Latham was her co-helper. And they organized it and used that jazz band the first year, and we held it in, and Bill will relate, we outgrew the rec center. Yeah. Because that first year we only had 75 or so veterans.
But you know, that 75 is a nice number, and the room at the rec is no piker.
No.
That's pretty good size.
It was good size, and with the dance band and the food, they serve a light lunch, which is sandwiches, chips, relishes, and cake or cookies, depending on what the kids are doing that year. Last year they baked all the cookies themselves.
Did they really?
And the years before, Marilyn Armbrust helped them out. But the thing that it really does is shows an appreciation to these guys, and when the band plays the tribute to the various branches, even I get emotional.
Oh, yes.
It's very, very touching.
We appreciate that particular phase of it, and those who belong to one branch of the service or the other. But I'm always tickled to get up when they play the Air Force song, and I look around the room, and there are quite a few confreres that are there that served in the Air Force, and each one is, you know, the Navy guys, they're proud of. So it's a neat thing. That little medley of service songs is a nice little touch.
It is, and each one of the bands that we've had has made it a point to polish that up. We had a young man from Normal who had his own jazz band from the 7th grade on up, so we had him for quite a few years. When he went to New York to college, we lost him, so we had to dig around for another band.
Branch out, huh?
Branch out.
Yeah.
So, but the one thing that we do lift up, though, and there's been some misinformation the last 2 years, it's for veterans and their spouse or guests only. Walk-ins that like to dance, we just don't have room for them, and the kids can't afford to do this, so...
Well, I don't think that anyone need be apologetic about that.
Well,
if you're having something that's for a specific group of people, it's for that specific group,
Right.
you know. That just, it's a
Or
kind
if
of a
you-
no-brainer, I think.
Well, if you like to dance, there's a dance available, and there are people who like to dance. Too bad
Oh,
there's
sure.
not more opportunities. for
And
them.
good for them, because I can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
Well, hopefully that there will be a good turnout of of course, the Koreans. They're getting their age too, but we've got a number of Vietnam boys and girls of the ages that served in that particular conflict, and nice to have the younger folks come. We geezers enjoy the music. Don Smith got a nice band, and the other bands that you've had in the past. The young man of whom you speak a while ago, I thought he was outstanding.
Oh, he was.
And,
He was a good kid.
Where's he gone now?
He's in New York, and his mother is a teacher at Lincoln Junior High School, and I haven't gone over this year to find out how he's doing yet. But he's quite an accomplished musician. So
Good for him.
the one thing you mentioned about the boys from Vietnam and Korean Wars, I was learning from the gentleman at Vincent VFW and the Legion. Some of these boys are now joining the fraternal military groups, and we have had more on our mailing list this year than we've ever had. They're slowly letting their names out, and they're becoming a part of this, which we rejoice in. So the plea this morning is, if there's somebody on the air that knows of a veteran that didn't receive an invitation, let me know at 732-9796 or 855-1645, and I'll get an invitation out to them and the particulars.
And they could call in right now, 648-5510.
That's fine too.
Let you know, we'd be happy to take those names down. This is something that we who have been in the military service appreciate. Particularly the older you get, the more appreciative you get. So I really appreciate that. That's a criteria. But a thing that I would like to mention is that some of these young folks, they get uniforms and they're dressed up in the uniforms. Some of them, I wonder where in the world they get these uniforms, and it's kind of a neat little touch. Have these young folks dressed up in the uniform of the country, and Navy, Air Force, whatever.
It's hard for them to get in some of those uniforms because the servicemen back in World War II were smaller than what our kids are today. One of our young boys was a sixth grader and could barely squeeze into one of the uniforms. So there's a difference in size of the men of the 40s and the boys
Oh,
of the
gosh,
90s.
yes. I think it's all that polyvisol we shoved down their throats when they were little.
Well, then also, Mrs. Reifsteck, you also take pictures of the veterans and their wives,
Yes.
or their escorts, whatever the case may be, and that's a neat little thing.
That's a gift from the kids. This was another one of their ideas. Basically, this is run by the kids and just supported by Jonathan, Tammy, and the adults that have a part in it. And we do a lot of the back room cooking and putting things together, and the kids are out in front.
Mm-hmm.
And but it's their punch recipe. It's Heather's punch recipe, and need I say that I am so proud of these kids. So
And
they're a
rightfully
good
so.
bunch of kids.
Well,
They
you know,
picked the 4th of November because the 11th is Veterans Day and it falls on a Sunday,
Yes.
and they didn't want to detour from the other festivities in town, so they took the Sunday before.
good
You
for
know,
them.
excuse me, honey. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying I like that idea.
I'm glad you
We don't
like
have
that
to
idea.
do everything on the same day, you know.
Oh, if you say so, my dear. Seriously, November the 4th, as you say, it's on a Sunday.
Right.
Going to be at 5 p.m. To 7:30. Some of us might last till 7:15 or so. Seriously, at the American Legion, which, by the way, is a nice venue to use. They do a great job in making that venue available to the public, and that's a very nice thing.
They couldn't do it for several years. We had it at a couple other locations first, and they finally came forward and said, we really want to make this work. So they let us use their kitchen, and we are very
Good.
respectful of that. And so it's perfect.
Well, let's talk about how many kids are involved in this, since it's their project, it's their baby.
Right, it's the junior high and high school youth, and sometimes an overflow of kids that have left, but they come back for that. But between 16 kids, 15, 16 kids are in our youth group. So I don't go to all the, meetings with sleeping on the ground and running in the woods and stuff like that. So I don't.
Don't you?
No, not anymore.
Well, you see, in this instance, you're having youngsters learn something about giving back. And that's an important thing to know for at their ages, that it's important to be a part of your community, wherever that might be.
Right.
And as the old Western expression says, put something on the bar beside their elbow. They're giving of themselves and their time and their talents, and we appreciate that. We appreciate it a lot.
Well, this isn't the only service they do. They have a monthly night at Culver's, third Sunday every month at Culver's, and that money goes for any of their mission work that they do, and this project especially, because it's. But they are a very giving bunch of young kids. They do.
Well, they
things around
won't
the community.
ever get any younger. This is as young as they'll be,
Yeah.
and it's time, and it's just invaluable that they learn something about sharing and caring about other people. We got a rampant plague of narcissism going in our world
Amen for that.
at every age.
Oh well, that would be your public calling.
That's a shut off.
Okay, well, we don't worry about that. We just if that's a call, did you have a call, my dear? We might be. I meant to tell you about the protocol on that. We turn off our phones when we walk in
I
here.
didn't even know I had it in my pocket. I thought it was out there.
I did the same.
Not a problem.
I did the same thing at a funeral one time. I thought I was turning my phone off. Au contraire, it was already off. I turned it on, and you know it rang during the course of the funeral.
So
Very
then,
embarrassing.
when he did it here at work, God love him, he turns to me and he says, "Your phone is ringing. You should throw Judy under the bus, right?" Okay, I don't have a cell phone. I'm the only person in captivity without a cell phone.
I just realized that may be a veteran calling in because we just gave that number over the phone.
That's
Yes,
right.
Over
we
the
did.
airways,
We
so-
did.
That's
Well,
right.
and we'll catch up with whomever.
Well, if you
as
want to call
time
in and
goes
talk
by.
to Tony at 648-5510, we'll give you another shot at that.
Now, you talk about these 1,170 invitations.
That's amazing.
That's a paper invitation with a stamp.
That's a paper invitation, and it also has, which I just dropped, a reply card, but they can also phone me for them to send a reservation in. If they don't want to send the card, they can just call the numbers on the card, and we record their reservation. But
Well, that alone must have taken an awful lot of fundraising on the part of those kids to send out 1,170 invitations.
that's why I mean they work from the time this one's over until the next one. They work all year long toward this, and the tragic thing about it is we don't want to leave anybody out, and that's why I'm here to get the people we haven't sent invitations to, and also to realize that we have sent some invitations to veterans who have gone to their last revelry. And for those, we ask they call me, and we will respectfully remove their names from the mailing list. And I've
Right.
already received some of those. So
Yes.
Yes, I have my card ready, but I haven't got the money from Mrs. Gossett yet to buy the stamp, so I will get that.
I'll document you.
Of a serious note, we want to point out that this not is just for, this is for all veterans. Anybody who has served in the armed forces of this country, they need to have to go to Europe or Asia or wherever. If they have served honorably in this country, they're welcome.
They're welcome, and it's whether they were deployed from Logan County or if they are living here now and they were deployed from some other entity in the United States. So we have folks here who were deployed from Michigan,
Oh, sure.
but they live here now, and they are also included. So
They're still a veteran.
they're still a veteran.
They didn't leave that in Michigan.
No, they didn't. And we do have veterans who make a point to come back at this time of the year from North Carolina, from other states, but I remember that in particular. So
That's an observation I didn't know about.
yes,
That they would make a trip to come back for that.
right.
Well, they appreciate what you're doing there, Mrs. Reifsteck, what you and the kids.
Yes.
Emphasize again, once again, you're kind of the major domo, you and some other adults, and we appreciate very much your time on that. But the youngsters in the church are the ones that are getting this moving.
They are the ones that do the hard work and put it together, and it's their idea, and they give the gift of the pictures that you mentioned. That is their gift back to the veterans that night. That's another expense that they make sure they cover.
Yeah, I send mine to my brother and say I made it another year. So find out.
How many attendees did you have last year?
You know, I honestly don't remember. Close to 300.
Was that right?
280 something, I think it was.
That's wonderful.
290 some, I don't know.
That's,
that, of course, includes the spouses and the guests with the veterans. But
well, yeah.
But we'll move the walls a little bit to get more in if we have to.
Good, good. You've got the wall stretcher. I've been looking for it.
Well, we just added a few less tables with food on it and crowd that closer instead of spreading it out. So
great.
You know,
and the adults of the church do help with this tremendously. The women's group furnishes the relish trays, and talking about this mailing of all these stuffing envelopes and stamps and things, the outreach committee helps with that, and the council. So we have adults in the wings that come to the rescue all the time.
Well, I think when one group of people steps up to the plate to do something decent for others, it's only appropriate that the rest of us back them.
But they have fun doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Yeah,
but anything you do with a group of people is fun.
Yeah,
you know, if you
is.
were doing it by yourself, it wouldn't be so darn much fun. But
Yeah.
Which, incidentally, digressing a little bit, but
Yeah.
not too far. We're going to have the annual German Fest, Oktoberfest, with St. John's United Church of Christ puts on.
Right.
And tell us about the date on that. I just want to digress just a little bit, because there again, it's a bunch of people doing a lot of work to put that thing on. Again, it's a fundraiser, and it's a very appropriate fundraiser, so take it from there, will you, please, Mrs. Reifsteck?
Okay, well, that's on the third Saturday of the month, and it's this year it's going to have to be held inside the church because we cemented our parking lot, so we can't put tents up, which is going to take away part of the flavor. But it's on the third Saturday from 11 to 3 at St. John's, the corner of 7th and Maple. And we have German food. We dust off our German potato salad and red cabbage and sauerkraut brats. And the young people, again, totally take care of the drive-through. We just say, are you going to do it? They take it over, and we don't do anything with it. They totally take it over. So part of the proceeds go to help with this Veterans Dance from the German Fest also. But tickets this year we have lowered to $7.50 for adults and $3.50 for children. And it's a good meal, especially if you're German heritage.
Well, yes, certainly a little modicum of that around here in this community.
oh
a little
gosh,
bit.
I guess.
Oh, and the apple strudel. The apples, we thought there'd be a shortage.
Yeah.
It's done. We had good apples a few weeks ago, so the apple strudel is in the freezer ready to go. So it's going to be the same menu again.
Well, this was something that you did have to worry about. Honestly,
Oh, yes.
First we had a non-winter, then we had a stupid summer.
Oh.
And we're going to have to get our friend Chris Miller back to tell us what kind of winter we're going to have this year.
Incidentally, Chris Miller predicted last spring that we would have an exceptionally hot summer.
Well, he wasn't kidding me.
I think that was March or April that he made that prediction. And he was sure on target.
He was right on, wasn't he?
Well, that's behind us now. We're moving into the fall activities. There's a lot going on around here in the community. And
yes.
certainly St. John's Church is one of those who gets things done and get them moving. You got a busy congregation there.
We're a bunch of old German people and young German people. And now we're adding other entities to it too, of course, because that soon diminishes down as the heritage goes. But no, it is. It's a beautiful church family. And we invite you to be a part of our German Fest, and we celebrate with the veterans, invite them. If you didn't get an invitation, let me know, because I really would like to see you there.
And we'll give those numbers again later on.
Yeah. I think first, perhaps, we might do a little such a thing as a commercial break so we can continue the programs up here?
I think
Thank
that's
you.
probably on the order.
Mr. Rack?